Everything I talk about in my videos is my opinion only, so sit back, relax, grab yourself a cuppa or a drink of your choice and enjoy. Hi guys, it's me, Lucie Spills. How's everyone doing? I hope you can hear me okay. I've had as people know, I've had an operation recently, so yes, I'm so sorry. I sound a bit croaky. Anyway, so but I will power through. Anyway, so I'm here to talk about how has changed so much since being a member of the royal family and since he got married. And were the royal family protecting him, or is he in a narcissistic relationship? I know I'm not qualified to say that, but I'm just seeing it more and more now. So we all remember him walking behind, the 12-year-old boy walking behind his mother's coffin. I mean, how can we not have sympathy for that? I mean, we had for Prince William. He was 15 at the time. So, as has said in War, he had vague memories of his mother. I would say, I'm not trying to compare their grief at all, because that's what bonded them. But Prince William also dealt with his mother's death. Yeah, so we have to remember that he went through that also. And then when Has was 17, around 17, he was very young at the time, he was seen on camera beating a pap up. That was, if you think about it, so he was 12 when his mother died, 17, so very, very fresh, you know, when he's 17. So I don't blame him for beating up a pap. You know, at 17, still a very young age, still a child. So I don't blame him for that. And the royal family protected him highly with that. So in 2017, Prince William and Has did a documentary about the late Princess Di, and they said they were never going to, this was 2014, so they said they were never going to speak on it again, and he did a lovely documentary about her, and they said they'd never speak of it again. And that's changed, because Harry has not stopped talking about her since he's been married. We also have to remember the work that Has did in Botswana, because he was heavily involved with the children, was making about the causes, didn't take a whole spared a camera crew with him. It was just royal reporters, stuff like that, and he called him his second home. And I actually think he would have moved there eventually. I do think that. We also have to remember how down to earth he was as well while in Botswana and on royal tours, meeting and greeting people all the time. I mean, was the royal family pushing him to do this, or was he just doing it because he was the second favourite royal next to the late Queen Elizabeth? That is very much changed since marriage, very much so. So I'm going to go on to Invictus now, the old Invictus when Has was heavily involved. It's very different now, but he was heavily involved, and there was a video actually. If I can find it, I will add it. But there's a video where there's a royal reporter, when Princess Charlotte was born, said to him, "Oh, well, this takes you further down the line of succession now, doesn't it? And you won't be king." And he went, "Ha ha ha, great." You know, he didn't want all that. To me, it seems he did not want all that. He didn't mind being spare. He didn't mind it. He was very close with his brother and all that. So, to me, he was very down to earth. That's how it came across to me and the public, because he was the second favourite royal. So, very down to earth, Has there before 2018, you know? Now, I'm going to be very careful about this, but we all remember the uniform, don't we? the very controversial uniform he wore that he blamed in War on Princess Catherine and Prince William, when he could have just took accountability and said he'd educated himself. You know, the royal family set up for him to go to a concentration camp, meet people who were in these concentration camps, and he'd, you know, educated himself. He could have said that in War. Nope, he was petty and blamed it on Princess Catherine and Prince William. I do not believe that for a second. Not for 1 second. So I actually believe he really enjoyed being Captain Wales in the army. I really do believe that. Even though he's heavily protected, we know he was racist and all this, but I really do believe that the airs and graces were gone and he was just Captain Wales. You know, that is the very interesting bit in War, in Spare, I'll call it now. That's a very interesting bit when he's talking about when he was in the army, when he's Captain Wales and stuff like that. That was interesting. So yeah, you know, I think he really enjoyed just being Captain Wales, no airs and graces, and down to earth Harry that we all saw, and we all remember him like that. So 2016 comes around and he meets Maggie Poos. So she wore it on the first, well, who knows about this date or whatever, because there's been about 5,000 stories about how they met and stuff like that, but I do believe she did wear her perfume what she's doing is she'd really researched him after saying she didn't know anything about the royal family, and then multiple pictures came out with her outside Buckingham Palace. I mean, I've said all this in previous videos, haven't I? But coming out in Buckingham Palace, it was all BS. It was all total BS. So yeah, wearing Diana's perfume, 1, creepy, 2, it was a way of kind of drawing him in. Yeah, oh, you're this spare. Oh, that's awful. Oh God, you should be king. Oh, we're both into this really humanitarian work. We should do it all together. Oh, let's go to Botswana when we hardly know each other and stuff like that, and look under the stars and all this absolutely cringy. I need a sick bucket, honestly. So she absolutely love-bombed him, as narcissists do, and he was completely taken in. I mean, we all saw it. I mean, his eyes were like, you know, when you see that emoji with the love heart eyes, it was like that. He was just all for her, and yeah, so she love-bombed him completely, mainly with his mother, and that's how she was starting to manipulate him, in my opinion. So tensions were starting with Prince William, because Prince William was saying, come on, slow down with this woman, you know, he's just been a brother, you know, just slow down. They were very close, and because he said that, oh my word, did he get, since that conversation, they have not been as close since. And I think that is so sad. The bond that them brothers had, that we all saw, I think the breakdown of their relationship is one of the saddest things to come out of all of this. I really do. So we all remember what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. So she's obviously behind the scenes saying, you better do this, you better do that. And I hate that I'm going in on a woman, but I totally believe she was doing all this, because what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. He's never said that about any previous girlfriends before. I've explained in a previous video, you know, he's never done it. He's never said anything like that before about a girlfriend. So what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. But who the hell is she, for a start? You know? So the nauseating wedding happened in 2018, and things started to change then, didn't it? as she started asserting herself behind closed doors, trying to be the boss of everyone, trying to take over everything, thinking she was modernising the royal family and all this, that and the other. She could have. Absolutely could have. She was so welcomed, so celebrated and welcomed. It would, as I've said in a previous video, it confirms that on Netflix. You know, they're so stupid, them two. So, yeah, things started to change after their marriage. She tried to take over, bullying staff, you know, all this awful stuff that the feminist was doing. And many of these staff, like I said in my previous video, were women. So this pseudo-feminist was bullying a lot of women, and she hated playing second fiddle to Princess Catherine. And I really think she hates that Princess Catherine, without even trying, is Diana reincarnated. She really is. And she didn't have to try. Maggie Poos is trying so hard. It's so creepy and cringe. The way she's trying so hard to be Hazzy's mother. It is so cringe. So 2020 comes along and we had the freedom flight to Canada. Montecito. Sorry, don't know what happened there. Yeah, we all knew that was going to happen. They were going to end up in you know, around the LA area, so Maggie Poos could pick up her acting career again, her amazing acting skills. Yeah, so you, Maggie Poos, you feminist, wanted to marry a duke in order to get the platform that you've got now. You've always been obsessed with the royal family, as it states in Lady C's book, as Revenge, Courtiers, as it states in all them. So, have they been sued? Has Piers Morgan been sued for calling you a liar? Nope. So, as I've said before, no lawsuit, there's truth to it. So 2020 comes along again, and we have the Oprah interview because King Charles had cut off Harry at 38 and he was butthurt about it, so they wanted to do a tell-all, didn't they? Well, a tell-all of lies, it would seem. So on that, not only did Maggie Poos do a load of race baiting, and they couldn't even get the story straight beforehand because, as like I said in the previous video, Maggie Poos said there was multiple conversations, has said there was one. So race baiting for a start, no names were mentioned, funnily enough, and yeah, and she also said that her passport and key, like she was Rapunzel, you know, her passport and keys were taken away from her. She couldn't do anything, she couldn't go anywhere, but she went to Ibiza, and then she went to New York for this big star-studded baby shower that she had. We all saw it, Maggie Poos. You're a liar. And then Haz comes in on the Oprah interview and just trashes his family, trashes his dad, while Prince Philip's on his deathbed. How nice is that? And they knew that. And they also knew that this Queen was suffering with, the public didn't know, and it's not in the public interest either, but they also knew the Queen was suffering with bone cancer, and they knew she was going to see this. So, awful, Harry. You need to be ashamed of yourself. You really, really do. That you've trashed your family knowing that your grandfather was on his deathbed and your grandmother was suffering with bone cancer. You need to be ashamed of yourself. You really, really do. So in 2021, we had Netflix, and thank God the Queen had just passed and didn't need to see any of that BS they were coming out with. I mean, it made me cringe so much watching that. My head literally turned inside out. Honestly, it was that bad. So when that came out, like I said in my previous video, it's a very good window to see, if you watch it for a second time, of how Maggie Poos controls Haz through his mother and through his paranoia with the paps. Because like I say, on that ridiculous car scene where we could have seen how harassed she was, I don't think Harry was acting the second time. I really don't. I think, you know, his eyes kind of went all wide and he was looking around and she's just spouting words to him. Now, what's that about? So, really good window there to see how she's kind of controlling him through his mother, you know, and stuff like that. And she's gaslit him into thinking that it's his fault that she cut her dad off. When, as I said previously, she didn't get in touch with him during that second heart attack. That whole text exchange was nonsense. So he called me Meghan. That's when he cut me off. No, that was nonsense. Absolute nonsense. So on Netflix, he kept banging on about like how about gaslighting and stuff like that. Do they know what that word means? As they're the king, literally the king and queen of gaslighting. So they need to research that word, seriously. I'm going to go back to the old Has now, because he was always very happy-go-lucky. Every time we saw him, he always had a smile on his face, you know, when he was meeting, greeting people and stuff like that. Now, all we see is his miserable mug all the time. Oh my word, does he just looks so miserable. And who wouldn't be married to her? I'm sorry, but who wouldn't? Nigeria, we all saw. I actually think he wanted to go to Nigeria to speak about Invictus, maybe visit people in poverty. No, he was stood behind her while she was, I'm a princess, look at me, Netflix next to me, ooh, pictures, ooh, camera, ding, 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 where's the camera, oh, there it is, ooh. That's Maggie Poo's for you. Now, the previous Invictus games, that was in Germany, fact check me if I'm wrong about that, but was very different to previous Invictus games that we've seen, wasn't it? Because before, what was very telling is that Maggie Poo's, she arrived a couple of days late, didn't she? So before she arrived, I saw the old Has again. He was there with the troops, talking to them, meeting and greeting, happy-go-lucky again, wasn't looking all miserable, wasn't, you know, he just looked like the old Has to me. And then when she shows up, obviously it all had to be about her, and I'm sorry, she made it a kind of a fashion show, and wearing some of the most disrespectful stuff I've ever seen, mainly creased. Maybe it's for their anniversary, maybe someone should gift them an iron, maybe, you know, because everything she wears is just so creased. She's such a beautiful woman. Why didn't she know how to dress? Who's a stylist? And that was where she also decided she was 43% Nigerian, didn't she? She knew what she was doing, because the Nigerians were all like, oh, Maggie Poo's is 43% Nigerian, she's our princess now. I don't blame them for thinking that, because they were obviously maybe a bit starstruck about it all. 43% Nigerian. No, you're not. I'm sorry, you're using a whole country now, and it is awful. You're just using a whole country, pretending you're 43% Nigerian. You're not. I'm calling total BS on that. Total BS. So that last Invictus was all about her, not about the troops at all. And I was so disappointed with Has for that. Really disappointed with him. Why cannot he just tell his wife? Why can't he just tell her just to take a back seat? Why can't he do any of this? You know, who knows what goes on behind closed doors with them two? I'd love to be a fly on the wall. I really would. Especially when the South Park episode came out. I really would have loved to be a fly on the wall then. So Has is been embarrassingly been trying to take many media outlets that have dared to trust him and his wife, but it was perfectly fine for him to reveal private conversations in WA, wasn't it, with him and the royal family and showing all royal residences in Netflix and stuff. That was perfectly fine. And Spare was full of tabloid and antidotes. I wanted to pronounce that right. It was full of tabloid antidotes. I'm so sorry, guys. I said antidotes then. Tried so hard. I wanted to say anecdotes. I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's full of tabloidy anecdotes. I hope I've got that right this time. I'm so bad at pronouncing things, but you all know what I mean, don't you? If I pronounce it wrong again, I'm so sorry. But my little community know on here how bad I am at pronouncing stuff, probably because of my massive lips, you know, something like that. So now he's trying to get this IPP status. So he can get, so every country he goes to, you guys will be paying for it. These multimillionaires, well, are they multimillionaires anymore? You know, they can't pay the taxes, you know. So anyway, maybe that's why our jams are 200 quid. So $200, sorry. So yeah, who's behind all this IPP status? And why is Meggie Poos not supporting him? Because during the coronation, she should have been there. She should have been there supporting him, because I felt bad for him. I really did. I felt bad for him walking in on his own, because he would have been a senior royal had he not met her. He would have been right there with the Princess of Wales and the Prince of Wales. He would have been right at the front there with the senior royals and Sophie and Edward, you know, everyone like that. Sophie and Edward. And yeah, so, you know, I felt bad for him. I did feel bad for him walking in alone. He looked very awkward. Eugenie, ignored him. Don't blame her. And I think Edo was, you know, trying to make conversation just to be polite. I just felt bad. Him and Eugenie used to be very, very close. Very close. And yeah, I don't blame her now for, you know, for completely not having time for him anymore. People thought she was kind of a mole, didn't they? And that she was going over and she was being a traitor and stuff like that. No, they were very, very close. And I don't think Eugenie appreciated having the paps being called when they were all out to dinner together, because Meggie Poos wanted to show her royal connection still to Eugenie, didn't she? So I don't think she appreciated that very much at all. So 2023, there was reports circulating, I think it was maybe The Guardian, that dropped a report, or The Times, circulating that Has was going to stay in a hotel. Well, who wouldn't want to go and stay in a hotel to get away from that tyrant? You know, like I said, I'd love to be a fly on the wall, you know, with them two. But yeah, there was reports he was going to stay in a hotel. So I believe this is a showmance now. I do believe that. I believe they want to do these tours and stuff like that. So I am believing more and more that this is a showmance, because it's very interesting that they're doing like everything apart now, aren't they? Like they did the Netflix Our Love Story Netflix thing, and then now they're doing things completely apart. Like he's doing his snooze fest polo thing and she's doing a snooze fest kitchen thing. And selling dog biscuit. Well, actually, she hasn't even got any products to sell. She's dropped it to try and overshadow again the royal family. I mean, she doesn't see how see-through she is. I mean, you literally have to just anytime the royal family do something good, just literally time you watch, and there's Meggie Poos doing something pathetic like sending nacho dog biscuits to overshadow the beautiful Princess Catherine, gracing us with her beautiful presence of Trooping of the Colours. As if dog biscuits, oh my god, dog biscuits. Really, Meggie Poos? Really? Oh my word. There's also whispers now that Maggie P's may be in LA, because she's been seen there hiking quite a lot recently, and she's been seen around the area a lot recently on her own, it would seem. Are they living together? Are they not? Like I said, I totally believe this is a showmance now, so they can do these fake royal tours. She's definitely behind these IPP statuses, because she's wanted security since day one, since 2016. So she's definitely behind him, but not coming to support him, and as she didn't for the coronation or anything like that. So that's what a wife should be doing. Whether her narcissism wouldn't allow it, or because she was highly booed that time at the Jubilees, before the Queen passed. So, and she came over to the UK for... she just wants to keep that royal connection. Now she's trashed him. Well, they both do, don't they? They want to keep that royal connection. And now is looking for a place in the UK. Why? Why is he looking for a place in the UK? And now he's really butthurt about King Charles and no one trusting him, no family trusting him and really wanting him around. Or they've just moved on, is what they've done. They've moved on from your shenanigans. That's what they've done, and you're butthurt about it, that they've not given you an apology, because they do not owe you an apology. You owe them a massive one for everything that you've done to them, for all this sewer squad that have gone in on Princess Kate, the harassment and the bullying that she has faced, having chemo and stuff like that, looking so beautiful and trooping over colours. I wouldn't look that beautiful having chemo. I mean, it's no revelation. Everyone knows I've got health issues at the minute, and look at me right now. So yeah, it's just, so he's looking for a place over here now, and he's very, like I say, very butthurt about his family not trusting him. Well, of course they're not going to trust him. He's revealed the most private conversations in the royal family, and he goes on about tabloids doing that. She's made him into this walking embarrassment, walking hypocrite, and she's just made him into this a laughing stock. He's just a joke now, isn't he? He's just a complete joke. He's been, the dub names for him, I just love the Dimwit Duke. I think that's a Meghan Markle one. I know, I'm quite obsessed with her at the minute, just because of how humble she is. So, I just love that. She's just very humble with all the followers and stuff. Anyway, so he's looking for a place over here. So what do you guys think about that? Drop in the comments if you think this is a showmance now. Because believe me, divorce is on the cards. And when this divorce happens, trust me, it's going to make Johnny Depp's and Amber Heard's court case look minute. It's going to be huge. And she is going to take him for everything he's got. You mark my words. Now, if they would have actually left for privacy, I would have had so much respect for them. And I had respect for them for a while for keeping the kids out in the media. You know, if they wanted to keep the kids private, fair enough. You know, that's up to them. But it would seem, no, that wasn't the case. They were just saving it for Netflix to make moolah. That's what it all was about. And she'll bring them kids out anytime she wants to make any moolah. So, you know, it's just so pathetic. And with this all this they said they were leaving privacy. I'm sorry, their mugs have been in my face more than I've ever seen them. They did 72 engagements whilst they're in the UK. I didn't listen to any word salady speeches. I've listened to a few now, and I can't make head nor tail of any of them. I really try to try and listen to a point of view or whatever, but it's just like, you just said a load of words and I don't understand any of it. It's like all words, no substance with her, isn't it? Maggie Poos has always done this. She's always discarded people when she doesn't want them. She'd ghosted a whole family when she'd married her prince, and when she got her titles and her platform, ghosted a whole of her family, including her niece that she then lied about on Netflix, her beloved niece, and who she now is friends with, and she's completely gaslit her, completely. So I find it so sad now that House has now cut his whole family off. And don't tell me that isn't her influence. Of course it is. Of course it's her influence, because she did it with hers. She's done it her whole life. He's never done that, and now he has. So I believe, yes, because he's, again, like the emoji, I think it's actually wearing down now. The love heart eyes I think they're slowly coming down now. But anyway, I think it's so sad that he's cut his whole family off, especially with all the troubles they're facing at the minute and stuff like that. I think it's really sad, and because he was so close to his brother, and he did call Princess Catherine the sister he'd never had. I just think it's so sad. So yeah, I do believe that was her, that she was like, you know what, Meghan, we have to remember what Meghan wants, Meghan gets, and if she wanted that, he would have given it her. And lastly, I'm going to go into the Beckhams, because David Beckham was an ambassador for Invictus, and Prince Harry was very good friends with David Beckham, very good friends. And so there was an Invictus event that David Beckham went to as an ambassador, and he couldn't understand why House wasn't speaking. It just wasn't speaking to him at all, and he was just so perplexed by this, because he was just like, why am I being ignored here? What's going on? Oh, well, it all came out then when apparently his wife had said to him, don't you dare talk to David Beckham, because his wife's been selling stories on me. As if Victoria Beckham would need to sell stories on Maggie Poos. As if. Oh my, I cannot even believe the bridges that they have burned, and Victoria Beckham graciously was being a really good friend to her, and nope, Maggie Poos burnt all them bridges, burnt them for House too, and gave David Beckham a load of abuse down the phone about his wife, which obviously David Beckham wouldn't take kindly to, and now they're no longer friends. And David Beckham is a complete royalist. I love David Beckham so much. I love him so much. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed my opinions on all this. I'm so sorry for how rough I look at the minute. I've had an operation recently, and I've got a few other procedures coming up. But thank you for everyone who's giving me the time of day, as I keep saying, and much love.